Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your man DL Saint. So, we gotta talk about this ICE shooting. We gotta talk about it. Another ICE shooting. It's it's crazy when you talk about it because my people would hit me up asking me about it, and I was confused. I'm like, "What ICE shooting? What ICE shooting are we talking about here?" I'm like, "Who? A guy? Nah, nah. Well, you talking about the guy that got shot in the leg? The guy that was running? You talking about the woman in the car? That's a problem. That's a problem. I hope you guys can hear me. Normally, I do the countdown and everything, man. I didn't do anything because this is serious. Y'all know when we do a serious topic like this, I don't like to have any bells and whistles, man. It's just too serious, right? It's just too serious. Um, no sound effects or anything like that. Um, and brother Dino Dinosaur, checking in from UK. He's like, brother DL. He was like, can America do another 3 years? Talking about Trump. That's a good question. He wants civil unrest, and he has it. He wants civil unrest, and that's what he has. We're gonna watch a video from Valhalla VFT. This is a former Green Beret. This guy's all about weapons training and stuff like that. Pretty sharp dude. He's not MAGA. He's not right. I would definitely place him in the middle. Um, Kind of like me. Some days I'm center left, some days I'm center right, but I'm always in the center. I would place him in the middle. But he does a good job of calling out the weirdos. He's calling out the folks who want to double back. Like if you're a Second Amendment person, you're a Second Amendment person. Period. Ain't no I'm Second Amendment unless. So we'll get into that in a minute. But you're looking at what's going on with this, bro. If Donald Trump cares about America at all, if the people in Donald Trump's administration cared about America at all, they would institute a 30-day stand down for ICE and just pull all of the ICE agents out of these cities for 30 days while they have a look at what's going on with their procedures, what's going on with training. Why do we seem to be having these instances of lethal force? That's what you would do in a situation if you're in a leadership role and you're like, hey, something ain't right here. Like, we want to get something done, but this isn't right. This is what we're going to do. And I doubt very seriously that they do this. I doubt it very seriously. Right. And again, say what you want. I don't care if you're far left, far right, whatever you are. MAGA, Antifa, which doesn't exist. MAGA, Antifa, whoever you are. If you don't care about America, then you are a threat to all of us. If you're out here just to destroy our country, then you are a threat to all of us. And right now, I see that threat. I see that threat. You just can't do this. They should do a 30-day ICE stand down. I don't see it happening. And things are going to get out of hand in Minneapolis. It's going to get out of hand. I just don't see no other way around it. It's going to get out of hand. And then it makes you think, well, is this by design? Kind of like what Brother Dino Dinosaur was saying. And again, he's from the UK. He's from the outside looking in, literally. He said, Trump wants civil unrest. Yeah, that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. If you don't want to do anything about this, if you're going to let this continue, let this fester, then Americans are going to do what Americans do, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch any cowboy movie. The black hats and the white hats, and ICE is wearing a black hat. ICE is definitely the bad guys. They're the villains in this particular thing. And Americans, when they've had enough, they push back. So we're going to watch this video, guys. Did I even pull it up? I don't even think I pulled it up. I was going to pull it up. I was setting it up. My man Jay Swan's calling me, hit me up. And we were talking and I lost track of time. That's why I was a few minutes late. And for those of you watching this on going to be watching this on Team Replay, I appreciate you. Don't hesitate to leave your comments. wherever you stand in the spectrum, it's all good. Just be respectful. I'm going to be respectful. Just be respectful. I've had people send me some messages I didn't understand. Like if I don't answer your comment, it's probably because I didn't understand it or it was just disrespectful. And I'm just, I won't remove it though. If it got removed, that was YouTube, not me. Just so you guys know, I'll leave a comment there. I won't remove it. YouTube will, and then YouTube will start watching your channel. Just to give you a heads up, they're out here policing, the trolls and whatnot. But man, this thing is crazy. So whenever I talk about law enforcement, I'm always talking about pay and I'm talking about training. Always, I'm always talking about training. And normally when I'm talking about law enforcement, I'm talking about local law enforcement, county or state law enforcement. I rarely get on the feds because the feds have a different mission. And when you think about federal law enforcement, you think, oh, that's the best training. That's the best candidates, college degree and all that kind of stuff. And, that's the assumption. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And we're going to see a little bit of that here because I'm all about training and I'm all about having the best of the best, have high standards, maintain your standards. And, we got to assess and stuff like that. After action reports, we got to get better, like meaningful training, meaningful after action reports, giving a voice to your people coming up, no matter if they're a brand new rookie or one of your seasoned vets. Listen to everyone and continue to improve and get better. That's what I'm all about. Right. And that's how it should be, especially when you're talking about individuals who have the legal power to take your freedom or take your life. So we're going to watch this video. Again, this is Valhalla VFT. Shout out to him. Again, this is a former Green Beret, and this is a guy who's all about firearms training and stuff like that. I've watched this guy's platform off and on for years, but lately I've been watching him a lot because I dig his point of view, and he's grounded right in solid fundamentals. Why wouldn't he be? He's a Green Beret. And you want to talk about training? They train. They train. They train and they train and then they train some more. And when you think you can't train anymore, they train even harder. That's how they get down. I've been on missions with Green Berets. These dudes know their stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. Was the shooting justified? Brother Dino, man, we're gonna look at it in this video, so you're gonna be able to see it. It doesn't look to me that this is gonna be what they call a good shoot. It's a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions. This is the numbers. You'll see. You'll be able to make up your own mind if it's justified or not. We got Mandrill in the building. What's good, fam? Another Green Beret. This dude still trains. You know what I mean? He ain't been on a mission in years. But Mandrell's always training. This is crazy. Today they said there are new angles on the video showing a woman shooting. Yep, there are new angles on that. And I mean, it's going to be a lot of angles on this. Even doing this show, when he filmed this early on, while he was filming, another angle came out and he was able to incorporate into the video. So we'll be able to see both of them. Absolutely. The guy who was murdered is definitely he's an ICU nurse. They're just releasing his name here within the past few hours. I think there are videos, pictures out there of him. He's very active, mountain bike guy and ICU nurse, works for the VA, allegedly. So this was a good guy. This is a citizen. You know what I mean? This is a stand-up man. And he met his end in one of the worst ways possible. And that just when you see these videos, bro, you're gonna see I don't even understand why this happened, why this had to happen. It didn't have to happen. This is why there should be a 30-day stand down with all ICE agents across the country. Get them out of the streets and get a handle on this, because if you don't, it's gonna get really bad for everyone. But let's check this out again. This is Valhalla VFT. Here we go.
Now, let's actually talk about training, because the biggest biggest thing I'm seeing in all of these ICE situations, and you notice how it's not police officers, it's not sheriffs, it's not federal marshals that are causing this problem. It's all coming from ICE. Why may it be? Yet again in Minneapolis, just been yet another ICE involved shooting, leading to the death of yet another American citizen. And while this is breaking, we don't have all the information yet. There's a lot of good camera footage that we're going to go through from a bunch of different angles. We're going to break this down together, see what we think. Is this justified, or is this just more untrained ICE officers who are panicking and doing dumb shit in the streets? Well, let's find out together, shall we? And we also have a great new addition to the studio here, as Munchkin's got her own cat tree. So there's that to look forward to. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel. Let's jump into this thing and talk about it. And I can tell you guys, it does not look good for ICE agents. Now, there's been some initial footage, probably most of you have seen, that's gone viral, but some new breaking footage from a camera angle right on top of this thing has just come out. So we're going to look at all this, break it down together, and see what we think, guys. All right, so let's jump in.
And I'm just gonna break it up because it's not just about fair use, but these videos have to be transformative when you have someone else on your platform. Like when you highlight these videos, that's why I stop it. But I'm gonna keep it to a minimum because I want you guys to hear what he has to say in its entirety. But shout out to Valhalla, man. Shout out to you, everyone. If you happen to see this, man, thank you for your service, man. All the way, all that good stuff. And thank you for these breakdowns. Let's continue.
To it, first thing we're going to do, let's just look at the footage and break it down. All right, so this is the main footage everybody's seen. I'm going to talk about some things as we work our way through it.
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people,
All right.
You can see his hands.
So right here, this is going to be important. See this woman in the pink? She's actually got her camera out. She is right on top of them. She's actually the one that just put out the footage that just dropped that we're also going to look at next. But first, some things to notice, okay? You have what looks to be about 7 ICE agents who are working on apprehending this individual. From what we've seen so far with this specific video that's gone viral, not a lot of context to what happened here. We're going to get more context as we look at a different angle, but let's see what happens. You can see he's on the ground. You've got about 4 or 5 ICE officers all trying to detain him. You see this ICE officer, looks like he's beating him with, I don't know, maybe even his weapon. Can't tell. That is when the first gunshot rings out. You've got this guy, ICE officer, who just turns and runs because he's panicked out of his mind. We're not sure who has laced the first shot here, but I want you to watch this.
Oh, shit.
Watch these 2 officers here, okay? As you can see, he's already been shot multiple times. He's already unconscious. He's probably already dead. Watch what these officers here do as the rest of them run away like scattered rats.
What the fuck?
These officers then lace about 7 more shots into his dead body.
They killed me.
All right, let's back up and watch these 2 officers again.
So you might be wondering, like, well, how does Valhalla know that this guy's like unconscious or maybe, even deceased? Well, you can see his legs there, and his legs aren't twitching or moving or anything like that as those rounds are impacting his body. So he's probably deceased at that point. Right? You got all these guys who ran away. They heard a shot. They started running. That's the wrong reaction. That's the wrong reaction. Like when you're in that line of work, if you're dealing with that sort of thing, I know when we were doing our thing as a soldier, man, when I heard rounds, I'm facing the direction that the rounds came from. I even learned that on the streets, even before the military. The military just honed that reaction. It's like, all right. And there's so many reasons why you want to face where you think you heard the rounds from, because now you're looking for muzzle flashes. You're trying to determine how many possible shooters they are, and more importantly, you're trying to find out what they are shooting at. So if you turn your back to that, you can't see anything, man. You have no idea what's going on, bro. Like, so, and just seeing, when I see law enforcement scatter, almost every video I see when there's, shots fired, police run like crazy. And then their training kicks in, it's like a delayed kind of thing, but it should be instant. It should be instant. And the only way to get it to where it is instant is you train. You train to that standard.
That was the first shot, I believe, by this officer here. Now let's watch again the aftermath. He's already dead at this point, probably. This officer.
What the fuck? They killed him? Did they?
This last officer puts about 7 bullets in him when he's obviously already dead on the ground. Now, that's just some things to think about before we get to the other footage, but also there is context to this, right? We don't want to leave anything out. And that is the big thing you're going to see is they found a firearm on him. And so I'm already seeing the please tread on me daddy crowd, MAGA, say, oh, well, this was justified automatically because he had a gun on him. Well, that's actually not true in America. It turns out in America, we have what's called the Second Amendment. For those of you who don't know what the Second Amendment is, it's a constitutional right that allows you to bear arms, firearms. And when I look at this firearm, this becomes very, very interesting to me. I'm always interested in character profiles and these types of things. And we're going to look at the individual here who got shot in a second as well. When I look at this firearm, very nice firearm, very nice SIG. He's got a SIG red dot sight on it. What this tells me is this is most likely someone who is pretty serious about firearms, probably does a lot of shooting, takes this seriously. It's not some, shitty Glock that's had its serial number shaved off.
Hey, man, don't be knocking Glock. What's wrong with you, homie? But he's saying with the serial number shaved off. So he's not talking about the nice Glocks that we have out here in the world.
So I would assume this is someone who has a concealed carry permit. Most likely, I'm going to guess a veteran as we look at who this was. Now, this is the man who was shot. And interesting to me because this looks like every veteran ever, right? It looks like you've got your typical maybe 5'11 style khaki tactical pants, Patagonia jacket maybe, and, ball cap, beard, concealed carrying a nice firearm, red dot sight on it. Like this kind of screams veteran to me, but we're going to have to wait and see. But to my point, I'm not really seeing the terrorist gangbanger character profile by this gentleman so far. Now,
and right away, that's what, I think it was an ICE spokesman or someone with the administration came out and said that. And I read an article, I think it was in Reuters, it might have been Associated Press, where in that initial press conference, they were alluding to the fact that the guy was somehow brandishing a weapon. I'm paraphrasing, like maybe he was brandishing a weapon, a firearm, looking for trouble or words to that effect. And I hadn't seen the video by that point. So I'm not seeing that at all. You can't even tell how the guy was carrying a weapon. Was it on his hip? Was it belly carry? Was it, obviously it couldn't have been a shoulder holster, or was it? We don't know. This whole thing looks crazy. Brother Carlos, it's good to see you. Right, man. Like, yeah, for real. Keeping and bearing arms is not legal in this country. And when I saw this and I hear what these people be saying, it reminds me of here in Florida, a law enforcement officer knocks on some dude's door after being told by people on the property that there was some sort of domestic problem at this apartment, maybe. Police officer knocks on the door, guy comes to the door with his firearm pointed down, police officer shoots the man dead. That happened here in Florida. And they're saying, oh, you shouldn't be bringing a weapon to your front door. You can do that in America. You can do that in America. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, leave me alone. I like my Glocks. Leave me alone. No such thing as a nice Glock. Leave me alone, man, Drill. See, thank you, Brother Carlos. Me and Brother Carlos on the same page, man. He's like, I got some very fine handguns, but I always carry Glock when I'm out and about. Me too. I got, what do I have? 17, 23, and what's the other Glock do I have? I always get the numbers mixed up. So I have the 40 millimeter, the 45 ACP, the 40, that's what the 45 ACP and the 9 millimeter, 9 millimeter 40 and the 45 ACP. That's what I got. So but yeah, man, leave me alone. We like our Glocks. But when you watch this video from the angles that we have here, whenever someone grabs their weapon, man, especially if they're carrying from their hip, you're going to see that bend. You're going to see that 90-degree bend in that elbow. And if they're carrying belly carry, right, normally you're going to see that shirt go up, their hand goes underneath their clothing or whatever. The type of clothes he's wearing, that coat and everything, if you're belly carrying, it's going to be real hard to get to that weapon. Even if you're carrying on your hip, it's going to be real hard to get to that weapon because you have on, your outer clothing in the extra, because it's cold right now. So up in that part of the country. So, man, I don't know, man. Based on these videos, I did not see this guy reach for a weapon. And then the question I had for Jay Swans, we were talking about this. I'm like, bro, was that his weapon? They came out with a weapon. I'm like, okay, was that his weapon? Right. And then who's going to do the investigation? What's the serial number? Like, what's going on? Are the feds headed to dude's house trying to remove, when you get to a point where you don't trust the government, man, nothing but bad could come from that. Nothing but bad. Man, that's what's up, Brother Carlos. He's like, I'm actually going to pick up a pair of the new Gen 6 Glocks soon. That's what's up. What caliber? I'm curious. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
Luckily, this woman's camera footage was just released, and this is the most important footage we're going to see by far. This is her. She's got the camera right there on top of all of this happening. Let's take a look at that. And actually, real quick, because I just came across this right now as filming, it looks like, and this was my guess, that Minneapolis police say he was a gun owner with a valid permit to carry. And again, not surprising based off of the character profile, the weapon that he was carrying, etc. All right, so here's the angle from the woman in the pink that we haven't seen yet. This is the new footage, and tells a very kind of interesting story here. Kind of hard to see what's going on, but let's actually see. It gives the context of how this entire thing actually started. So what you have here is you have a woman here. I'm assuming this is a protester. You've got the man who eventually gets killed, who's standing in between these people here, and this green cap is an ICE agent. And let's see what happens here. So you see immediately this ICE agent runs up, shoves this woman to the ground in the pavement. I'm not sure what type of police work this is supposed to be. He's not even trying to detain her at the moment, just runs up and shoves her to the ground. And then here's the guy who eventually gets shot. He steps in between the ICE agent and the woman that was just thrown to the ground, and looks like he's trying to stop him. And then the ICE agent begins to pepper spray him. And it's hard to tell what's happening here. Here's the woman that was thrown down. Here's the guy who's eventually killed. ICE agent's here. It looks like he's trying to shield her from being pepper sprayed. Hard to tell, though. And again, the ICE agent continues to mace them both.
I mean, that's what it looks like, bro. It looks like this dude was trying to protect this woman. Maybe he knew her, maybe he didn't. But he's doing the right thing. That's what men are supposed to do, right? You're supposed to, look out for others. If you're stronger, protect the weak. And what's ICE doing? Playing the role of the villain, the black hats, the bullies. This guy ran up and just pushed this woman. What? Why? If you're gonna, like you said, if you're gonna take her into custody, push her down, and then, put the handcuffs on. Right? Put the handcuffs on, bro. If that's what you're gonna do, take her into custody, finish it. What are you doing? These dudes are just acting like brown shirt SA individuals, circa 1938, 1937.
Hard to tell what's happening here. I can't tell if he's trying to shield her or what's happening, but you can see all of these ICE agents are now rushing on top of them. So now they're attempting to detain him. She's still on the ground. And looks like she's trying to be detained as well. And then you have all the ICE officers on top of him.
Fuck people! What the f is wrong with you? Honestly!
Now, I want to look at the number of people here because this is going to become important. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6, 7 ICE agents, at least 5 ICE agents, just on top of, again, one individual who eventually gets killed here. And we'll talk about why that's important here in a second. But let's watch the rest of this. So again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people holding him down in detail.
You got all those dudes holding him down. You have this one ICE agent dealing with this woman, and he doesn't seem to have her under control. He doesn't appear to have her under control at all. So you got one ICE agent dealing with the woman. You got all these other dudes dealing with this guy. This is just horrible. Like, this is just horrible training. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? It is, like I said, this is terrible. What's good, fam? I am Simmons 8826. What's good, bro? Always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for stopping in, man. Yeah, we down here in Central Florida, bro. It is a balmy 73 degrees right now. It's supposed to get cold starting Monday. That the front that's tearing up the rest of the country right now is gonna dip down here to Central Florida like Monday. We're supposed to dip down a little bit, but yeah, man, it's crazy. And brother Carlos, man, you got it going on, bro. Gen 3, 17, 19. I have the 17. You got the 26, Gen 5, 19, X, 43. So I have the 17, 23, 36. I got the 380 one. I forget what that is, but I bought that for my cousin. She's in Miami. She has that. I got a 22 long rifle. I gave it to her as well. It's like a little 5 shots, really nice weapon. They actually make that 22 in the Magnum, which is crazy. Jay Swan's turned me on all that, bro. It was crazy, man. So yeah, we like weapons over here, man. You know, I tell everybody, man, you got to arm yourself, bro. Why not take advantage of the Second Amendment? You know, most people cannot do that in the world. Most governments won't let these people have weapons. Why? Because when the government gets bad, the people can rise up. That is why we have the Second Amendment. I was talking to someone about that. It's like, you're like, oh, you got the Second Amendment is to protect yourself from property. Like, no, the Second Amendment is to put a check on government. The Second Amendment, so you can arm yourself against a tyrannical government. If you have to, you can do what you got to do, right? To protect yourself and your family from the government. That's what it's all about. That's why we have the right to have militias. You know what I mean? Boy, it's cold in Boston, man. You stay warm in Boston, bro. And yeah, I rock with Valhalla Victor Foxtrot Tango. I like him. That's why we're watching them now. But let's continue.
Yeah. This guy just pulled his gun out. He is now holding his gun one-handed in his hand. I believe he's the one that lets off the first shot right on top of everybody. And as obviously we can see round horseshoe circle, they're just lacing his dead body in the street right now. All right, now I want to talk about
that last scene right there, bro. If the guy who was murdered fired the first round or fired any rounds at all, his weapon would have been on the pavement. We would see it in the video. That's something I'm just sitting here looking at that like, well, where's his weapon? They came out with this weapon like, oh, the guy was armed. Okay. If he fired at you guys, if he pulled his weapon out and fired, he would have immediately dropped that weapon when they dropped him. And the weapon would have been laying there, right? Somewhere on the pavement, somewhere in the vicinity of his body. This looks really bad. The new Black Panther Party thing, man, I think you need to look into that. I saw some pictures of the guy that was walking around with the beret on and a weapon. And I don't know about that, bro. That might be some Russian propaganda. You know what I mean? They made some Russian trolls trying to stir stuff up. Yeah, look into that. You know, it's not because I mean, here's the thing with the Black Panther Party. We know they'll get down, but ICE ain't nowhere near them. I mean, ICE ain't gone anywhere dangerous. Think about it. This is happening in a good neighborhood right here. This is the stuff we're watching. The woman that got hit in the face, good neighborhood, right? When ICE goes somewhere, they're not going to the hood. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but has ICE been to South Central? Has ICE been to East LA? Has ICE been to the South Side of Chicago? We know they was in Chicago. They go to the South Side, right? Has ICE been to Cincinnati, Ohio? Anywhere in Hamilton County, Cincinnati, Ohio? think the answers are all that is no. Has ICE been to Miami? I mean, like, bros, you know, ICE is supposed to go to New York, or they going to Harlem, or they going to the Bronx, or they going to Brooklyn, right? Or they going to Queens? I doubt it. They gonna stay uptown, bro. They gonna stay in, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be somewhere in Chelsea or Manhattan somewhere. We got Educated Tyrone in the building. What's good, fam? Let's continue.
Important things here that I'm noticing. Again, with any of these ICE situations, you're seeing a massive lack of training. You're seeing panic, and we're going to talk about how much training they get here in a second. It's disgustingly little. But what I see is 5-6 law enforcement officers who are unable to control the hands of one detainee. 6 men, supposedly here, are unable to control his hands and detain him, which potentially ultimately leads to, we don't know, but if this is a justified shooting, it would have to be proven that this individual attempted to go for the gun that he had on him and he tried to shoot law enforcement officers. Are we seeing that in the footage? Doesn't look like it, because he's got 6 to 7 people on top of him. So massive failures by law enforcement here, and not being able to properly detain someone and control their hands when you already have complete control of them on the ground. 2, the decision that one ICE officer decides to make by pulling his gun out one-handed and just lacing rounds when there's people on top of that suspect, law enforcement officers in a circle around that suspect, and you take your gun out and start lacing shots. Incredibly lucky that he didn't, one, miss doing something that stupid and shoot his buddy right across from him, or even lace around straight through that dude into other officers or other people on the street. And this is what's crazy. Lethal force is supposed to be the last step, not the first step. Not the, oh shit, I don't know what's happening, I better panic and lace off a bunch of rounds. I better shoot this dude 12 times after he's already dead in the street. And people on the right, which is so bizarre, again, the party of don't tread on me that now simps for the federal government as hard as they can, very bizarre, they're going to tell you that because he was armed, again, the Second Amendment community is going to tell you on the internet, because he had a gun on him, oh, well, that's justifiable. Again, no, in this country, you have the right to carry a weapon. Even if you are being arrested and you have a weapon on you, it turns out that you don't automatically deserve to get fucking shot 12 times in the street.
That's a fact. That is a fact. You know what I'm saying, Brother Carlos? Yeah, I don't know New York like that. I always thought uptown was like Manhattan and all that, but I guess Brooklyn is uptown. New York is just so, man, the original concrete jungle, bro. I've been to New York a handful of times. I'll never go to New York in the winter again. And when I go in the summer, it's always been an adventure. But New York's, you know, New York is what it is. It is what it is. And yeah, they ain't going to Philly. Bro, they ain't going to Philly. Forget about that, bro. They ain't going to Philly. They ain't going to Tennessee. Right? They ain't, you know what I mean? Like, if they go to Georgia, they're not going to be in Atlanta. Right? They're not going to be in DeKalb County. You know what I mean? Like, for real. It's just what they're doing, man. Yeah, even like the Republican Party is split on this. You know, these are minority, you know, people in the country illegally, or minorities or whatever, getting, you know, murdered here, man. These are Americans, Caucasian Americans, who are just out there exercising their rights as Americans, protesting and all that kind of stuff. Getting lit up like that, bro. Getting lit up like that, man. That just doesn't. That's just so bad, man. This is headed to a very dark place, and I don't want to see it. I'm being honest with you, man. I don't want to see it. This is headed to a very dark place.
However, if they can prove through better video footage that this individual tried to take his gun out and tried to shoot the officers, it's going to be hard to prove that, then this would be justified by law enforcement. But again, are we seeing that? I don't know. Let's look at some still frames. Now, this is a still frame moments before he was shot. What it looks like is that from most of the angles we can see, he's got his hands on the ground trying to brace himself, obviously, as 6 grown men are detaining him. I would be interested to hear from actual police officers, and I say actual police officers because ICE don't have the training to even be considered a law enforcement officer. I'd like to hear from actual police officers what you guys think. Does it take 7 police officers to detain an average size man typically. Police officers, if you're attempting to detain someone, is your automatic panic response to pull your gun out and shoot them when you have 7 other officers around you? I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys. I doubt it. Now, let's actually talk about training, because the biggest thing I'm seeing in all of these ICE situations, and you notice how it's not police officers, it's not sheriffs, it's not federal marshals that are causing this problems. It's all coming from ICE. Now,
he's about to get into the training, man. Before he gets into the training, guys, in the chat, do me a favor and answer this question. How many days of training, start to finish, do you believe that the ICE agents receive? Like, so just imagine you go in January 1st, first day of training as an ICE agent. How many days of training before you complete that training and you're on the street as an ICE agent? Put the numbers in the chat real quick, and then we'll let you guys see it in a second. But put the numbers in the chat, bro. How many days, not months, how many days of training do you think they receive? Because this is insane, and everything he's. And here's the thing too. I wonder if ICE, as part of their normal equipment, they load out, are they carrying tasers? They have pepper spray. Do they have tasers? Because before you go to lethal force, you're supposed to go to non-lethal force. I'm just curious. Brother Carlos says a week. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, looks like brother Dino, he did his homework. Mandrill, 45 days, 6 weeks. That's brother Dino Dinosaur. 30 days from 8826. Brother Carl's like a week. You know what I mean? 6 to 8 weeks. You know what I mean? We're getting all right. So let's see how much training these guys get start to finish.
Why may that be? Now, let's actually talk about training, because the biggest thing I'm seeing in all of these ICE situations, and you notice how it's not police officers, it's not sheriffs, it's not federal marshals that are causing this problems. It's all coming from ICE. Now, why may that be? Well, you can Google it yourself. How many days training do ICE officers get? You would think it would be a lot, since they're out on the street being put in positions where apparently they have to kill people. Turns out, no. Training for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE deportation officers, has been significantly reduced from the traditional 16 weeks, which is still too short, to 42 to 47 days. 42 days of training.
42 to 47 days, guys. And that includes days off. Right? Think about that. So they're not getting 42 days of quality training, bro. I bet you that includes your weekends off. 16 weeks is the traditional baseline. It should be 16 weeks of just constitutional law, Bill of Rights, and how to approach that. It should be 16 weeks of just that in classroom alone. It should be 16 weeks of just that. Right? Let alone 42 to 47 days of training. This is why they don't know how to get someone under control. This is why it takes 7 of them to get a guy on the ground and get him, get his hands behind his back and get him, into custody, which they never did. They fired on him before they even did that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's crazy, bro. Like, it is crazy, man. We got brother Man Cave 6849 in the building. Welcome, brother. Welcome. Man, Drill, I told you. Like, bro. I mean, just to give you an example, man, airborne school. I'm always talking about airborne school. That's 3 weeks. That's 21 days. And then you have to subtract the weekends. But it's ground week, is tower week, and it's jump week. It's 3 weeks. Basically 15 days. And I mean, it's get plus or minus, because when you get to jump week, it depends on weather. So, we had to spend an extra week there. We're trying to beat New Year's and Christmas. I had to deal with all that. And the weather was messed up. So we couldn't get the bird. So we went extra. We went like an extra 4 days. Right. And I think my final jump, jump 5 was on a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And we did a ceremony on the jump, on the drop zone. As soon as we finished that 5th jump, they formed us up and they pinned our wings on us right there. So we didn't, because we were so far behind the schedule, We couldn't even get the basic formation, getting dressed up and cleaned up and marching in front of, the commander, the CEO and all that. Now, as soon as we finished that fifth jump, they formed us up, bro. They pinned wings on us. And then that was it. But, airborne school to learn how to jump out of airplanes, 15 days. The Army, so if the government was running, if the private government was running airborne school, bro, it'd probably be like 48 hours, 72 hours go jump school. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, most people get way more training. It takes way more hours of training to become a barber, to get your certification to cut hair than it does to get a weapon to go out here and pop people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something is fundamentally wrong with the way we train law enforcement. And the assumption, right? The assumption was the government has the best training. Of course, they're giving these guys the best training, these men and women the best training. This is insane. 16 weeks isn't enough. Ranger school, 62 days, no breaks, right? But think of all the stuff. Think of all the training you have to go through before you even get to Ranger school, right? Think of all the training you have to go through, what you got to do just to get into Ranger school. So, I mean, it's like you're coming in, like Ranger school is the cap on the top. You know what I'm saying? The capstone. Let's get back to it.
To be an ICE officer to facilitate hiring surges. Now, if we compare that just straight to a regular police officer, how much time are they getting? 105 to 147, 3 times the amount of training for a basic police officer. And as it says here, that is followed by several weeks of field training, totaling around 5 to 6 months before they are ready for patrol. And yet ICE officers who are out on the streets potentially doing the same job, arresting people, apprehending people, obviously killing people, are getting 45 days of training. And we as Americans are supposed to cheer that on and be like, yep, sounds good. That's who I want out on the streets. Somebody who's got 6 weeks of training off the street. Not all these ICE officers are former police officers, former military. And I'm not necessarily dumping on the officers themselves here, but there is no fucking excuse for the fact that we're putting people out on the street with 45 days of training with a firearm in their hands, shooting U.S. citizens. Look at the military. Basic training is 12 to 16 weeks long, and that's to become a private in the infantry. And then you're going to train and train and train at your unit. You're going to get months and months, if not years more of training after that. And that's just basic training is 4 times as long as what ICE officers are getting. And guys, I am very supportive of law enforcement. Very difficult job. However, that means also having a standard that we expect our law enforcement officers to be able to uphold. And these ICE officers are just not able to uphold that because they're just not being given the training to even have any ability to do this job safely.
I mean, these ICE officers, man, I mean, when you think about it, the average local law enforcement, local cop has more training than these ICE officers. And you see what these local cops are doing. I mean, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Scam Likely's in the building. What's good, bro? It's like, we voted for this. We voted for this. Yeah. Yeah. Half of America voted for this. Yeah. And that's our system. This is what you get. This is how it works. Like, I was telling people, man, y'all pay attention. Pay attention. And I was one of those people like, bro, didn't like Kamala Harris as a candidate at all. Wasn't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I wasn't going to vote for Donald Trump. I was going to write in a name, you know what I mean? Or I was going to maybe vote for like one of the third party candidates, basically throw the vote away. But I had to talk to my people with Jay Swan. He's like, bro, man, this is too important, bro. You got to rethink this. And I did. I sat down and I rethought. I'm like, yeah, this is too important. We can't have this guy in office, man. I'm just going to pinch my nose and I'm going to vote for the person who's not this guy. And, unfortunately, enough of us didn't do that. And this is what we're dealing with.
They just don't. 45 days training is a fucking joke. And so for me, rather than just blindly simping for the federal government and cheering on ICE officers when they kill somebody in the street, like MAGA is doing, I would prefer that we set the system up to where our immigration officers actually go through some sort of real training pipeline to learn how to do the fucking job before we put them out on the street in extremely stressful and dangerous situations. So ultimately, is this going to be declared justified by the law enforcement officers? I don't know. It's going to depend on, again, can they show that he went for his weapon, right? Can they show he was actually attempting to kill ICE officers? You're going to have to prove that. I think it's going to be pretty difficult based off of the footage we have because it's so zoomed in and so close. But for me personally, just like the last ICE shooting, I am not going to cheer this on. This, to me, looks like more, again, untrained, panicked behavior that we just cannot have out on the streets in America. Like, this ain't it, guys. This should not be the society that you want to live in, where, again, people are immediately cheering this on like it's a good thing. And also, again, so bizarre to see the right-wing conservative space immediately scream things like, well, he had a gun, so he deserved it. It's like, what's your political ideologies again? Isn't like the Second Amendment a big part of that? It is for me. And as it turns out, as a U.S. citizen, no, doesn't automatically mean that you can shoot me 12 times in the street because I had a firearm on me legally, as we're finding out. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what comes of this. More information that comes out, more camera angles. I think we're probably going to need to get body camera footage to be able to see what really happened if he actually did go for the gun. If he did go for his gun and he tried to pull it on officers, hey, that's the way it goes. That's going to be justified 10 out of 10 times, even if these ICE officers are, doing stupid shit and panicking. If you try to pull your gun on officers, then that's a fuck around and find out. But if he didn't, then yeah, this looks like straight up murder. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. Again, new information. I'm sure we'll get more as we go forward. We'll cover it if anything big comes out from there. That's going to do it for this one. Take care, everybody.
Shout out to you, brother. Well done, brother Valhalla, Victor Foxtrot Tango. Again, we're not doing any sound effects or anything, guys, because it's just too serious, man. Yeah, conservatives, yeah, we thought that too. Thought it was pro Second Amendment. But it doesn't seem to be that doesn't seem to be the case now, especially with the MAGA people. So, man, I mean, so what are we looking at? All the way back to brother Dino's question, like, is that going to be considered justifiable? Talking about the shooting. I agree with Valhalla. Not based on the footage that's out there right now, bro. It's hard to see how they were justified in shooting that man so many times at that. It might have been a situation where one of the guys in that scrum, when they were all on top of him and they're trying to get him under control, one of those dudes screamed gun, and then you get the first pop. Something like that could have happened. Oh, it's gun, and then pop. And then one of the other agents heard that pop, so they draw their weapon and they just start popping. Right? It could have been something like that. And then all those dudes get whisked away somewhere where they can get their story straight, because they know they don't have to worry about an investigation from the federal level, but the state is going to want to know, and the American people are going to want to know. And then I'm not, you guys know I'm not a conspiracy guy. I don't have my if I'm doing conspiracy stuff, I'll have a tinfoil hat on. My tinfoil hat's over there, right? If I'm doing conspiracy stuff, I'll put the tinfoil hat on. But real talk, was that guy's weapon? Did he have a weapon? Right? I mean, real talk. Like, is that weapon registered to that guy? It is a lot of questions here, man. But definitely the way they handled that, the fact that all those dudes, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many guys couldn't subdue one man is ridiculous. That, like Valhalla said, man, that's a reflection on training. It's just it's a reflecting on it's poor training. Those dudes have no business being out in the field doing what they're doing. And it goes back to the woman that got popped in the face. That guy there was no real justification that I could see to fire those rounds off. And I know initially when it happened, it looked like he got hit by the vehicle a little bit, but the car was turning, but it looked like, oh, he got bumped a little bit. But that didn't justify what he did. And then you watch other footage, it's like, yeah, this dude put himself in the way, right? This dude has been through something similar to that, 6 months prior. He's out here on the street. And then what he said after he popped her in the face, you know what I mean? Fucking bitch. That's what he said. Like, bro, and they don't want to even investigate that. Drop the link for a few minutes. All right, because I was about to wrap this up. Man, Joe, you must be reading my mind. All right, give me a second. I'll drop the link. Yeah, dude was skinny, man, but skinny dudes could be hard to bring down, man. That guy was lean. He was lean. That dude was out there doing his thing, bro. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that a skinny guy don't have strength and doesn't have testosterone. Like this dude was out here mountain biking and all that kind of stuff. He's like he's an outdoorsman, living in a place where the great outdoors is a thing. I mean, I've seen it, man. I've seen grown men have their hands full dealing with a 16-year-old boy. I've seen like 2-3 grown men, cops or whatever, or security trying to deal with a 16-year-old bro. The 16-year-old was giving them the business. You see the kid like, man, that cat's lean, but he just lean, muscle and testosterone, bro. Good old fashioned piss and vinegar. Right. So we just waiting for Mandrell y'all to jump up here for a couple minutes and then we're gonna lock it. We're gonna lock it down. Don't get it twisted. I've locked up with many a dude, and I'm a skinny guy. I was real skinny when I was younger. I locked up with many a dudes, bro, and they regretted it. Like, oh shit, I thought you was a little guy. Like, nah, bro, you dealing with a big guy. This is how we get down. It is what it is. I done linked up with some dudes skinnier than me, and I was like, oh, them dudes like knew how to wrestle. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about MMA. I'm talking about that Greco-Roman stuff, bro. I done had dudes hit me up, bro. I'm sitting there like, oh shit, I thought he was a pushover. So don't get it twisted. Brother Dino was like, DL, it could have been one of the ICE officers' weapon dropping onto the floor or something. Could have been. It could have been. I mean, bro, I would not be surprised if when this all gets flushed out that one of the officers was like, hey, I heard someone say gun. I never saw a weapon. I heard gun, and I heard a weapon discharge. So I just began to fire. You might hear something like that, bro. You just might hear something like that, bro. Man, I don't know nothing about that Dragon Ball Z, Tyrone, bro. I don't know nothing about that. I'm a Voltron Robotech dude. I'm an old school guy. I'm Voltron with the cars, not just the lions. I'm old. I'm Lion-O. You know what I'm saying? Thundercats, G.I. Joe dude. But I appreciate the reference, man. Dragon Ball Z. I've watched the cartoons. My daughter watches a little bit of that sometimes. Like she's into anime, but not that anime, but she's watched that sometimes. She's watching some anime thing yesterday. Or last night. But yeah, man, like, and the thing is, the feds are gonna circle the wagons on this, bro, and they're gonna try to cover stuff up, man. They're gonna try to get their story straight, bro. They're gonna try all that. But there's always going to be someone who is going to keep the real evidence. There's people involved. As bad as ICE looks right now, there are some good people within there. Like, man, this is wrong. You know what I'm saying? This is wrong. Yeah, Voltron, bro, the classic. Look up the Voltron with the cars, bro. I'm an old school. I'm Silverhawks, Thundercats, G.I. Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, Captain Caveman. I mean, we were all the way back. Captain Caveman, Hong Kong Phooey, all that kind of stuff, man. And, one day we're gonna do an episode. We're gonna talk about old school cartoons, bro. One of these days we're gonna do an episode on that. But bro, I think there's gonna be an effort to suppress evidence, and I think that there are gonna be people who are gonna get copies of that evidence, bro. It's gonna come out. The state is gonna do an investigation. The feds aren't going to share their information with the state, so the state's gonna have to do their own thing. Talk, hold their own interviews and all that kind of stuff. There's probably more footage out there somewhere. And I think this administration is going to do everything it can to hinder that investigation. I mean, it is what it is. But, here's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing y'all got to think about, bro. It only takes a handful of Republicans to turn the tables tomorrow. Like, we know that there's going to be a blue fucking hurricane tsunami when it comes to the elections. The midterm election is going to be overwhelmingly Democrat, overwhelmingly moderate Republican. It's going to be anti-MAGA. We know this is coming. I mean, it's just, how can it not at this point? But even before that, you get 5 Republicans in the Senate. The Democrats got the Senate. And I mean, if you get a handful of Republicans in the House, I think it's 12 or something like that in the House. The Democrats got the House. So they want to stop Trump. And I'm talking about the Republicans now. If the Republicans get to the point, they're like, okay, we've had enough. Hey, Donald Trump, we need you to do this. And he doesn't do it. They'll go work with the Democrats and they'll take over. This is why checks and balances is so beautiful. And then you got, there's people out there saying that, well, you can try. Trump ain't going to step down. Oh, he'll step down. They'll drag him out of there kicking and screaming. They'll get him out of there. Don't think for a second those young Marines who guard the White House won't grab Trump and snatch him up out of there. Don't think for a second they won't. You know what I mean? Don't think for a second they won't. And yo, Pookie, we waiting for Mandrell.
Oh, we waiting for Mandrell.
Yeah,
I'll drop when he comes if he
if he ever gets here. What's happening though?
Was good, man. No, it was a good stream. I just like the unbiased coverage, the Valhalla dude, because I follow a lot of like these independent media people, and some of them they don't really lean. They're not too extreme either way, but like they call it how they see it. So I'm glad you kind of reviewed that, because some of the people that I'm even kind of cool with, they kind of automatically take the conservative, like, or whatever ICE says, whatever the initial report is. And when I try to show something like you said, or I make a reference to that, they automatically go to, oh no, you're a liberal. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just like, they're so brainwashed to be because I'm not even a liberal. I'm like, bro, liberals don't like me. I'm like a, independent. I'm not really a quote unquote Democrat, whatever, so.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I purposely choose this type of content because there's plenty of liberal anti-Trump stuff out there. They're going to give you like the MSNBCs and the NBCs.
Yeah.
I try
Because, of
to
course,
find the
plenty
stuff
of non-voters and independents don't like Trump either, but they act like only liberal people don't like they act like, and I know you don't have this issue, DL, or people that watch your channel, but like just the general stereotypical extreme conservative people, they act like you can't disagree with Trump without also like disagreeing with Hillary Clinton. Like a lot of Hillary Clinton voters stop being friends with me in real life just because I supported Bernie during the primaries. So literally, it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like me not liking Trump makes me all of a sudden a liberal. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm pro-gun. I would vote for a lot of stuff that Democrats would probably push back on. So it's not even like I don't like Nancy Pelosi. I hate Nancy Pelosi. You know what I mean? But go ahead. I'm sorry.
but the thing is this. When it comes to politics, and then we'll drop you down. I'm gonna let Mandrell.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I got to talk to the Green Beret on this one. But
of course, yeah, no, yeah.
The thing is this: when it comes to politics in America, and I did an ebook on this, man, because it goes into Dayton. Politics is a convenient excuse to get rid of people you didn't want to fuck with in the beginning, right? If someone's like, I can't talk to you because you like Nancy Pelosi, or you don't like this person, or you know what I mean, you do back this policy and you don't back that policy, bro. They really didn't want to fuck with you in the beginning. And is that a person you really want to talk to? Like, I talk to everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
I talk to everyone politically, bro. It's like, there are things that Valhalla has said that I don't agree with. And matter of fact, I'm waiting for his next live. I'm gonna send in the super chat and I'm gonna ask him, like, hey man, a couple of days ago you mentioned World War II and that America might have fought on the wrong side. What do you mean by that? Because I'm curious. I really want to know what he means by that, because I studied World War II. And I'm like,
I want to hear that one. I'm gonna tune in for that because I want to hear his argument.
It'll be, I think he's going live on Tuesday. So I'm planning on like catching his live on Tuesday. He normally goes like 3 hours, bro. He goes hard. So I'm gonna send it in, like, just and just out of respect. And like, I'll throw some military jargon in there so he'll know who he's talking to. And it's like, oh yeah, I just want to hear what he has to say. And I'm not gonna hold it against him. I just want to hear what he has to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm agreeing with damn near everything he's saying on this one, but I guarantee you some things out there that he's backing it that I'm not with. So Educator Tyrone, Educator Pookie, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to get your final thoughts in, and I'm gonna rock it out with Mandrell.
Oh yeah, I don't got too much to add because I mean, the obviously I think this second shooting is even worse than the first, and you pointed out the flaws with the defense in the first. The guy put himself in danger, made crazy comments afterwards, and he was just riled up from the beginning, which weakens his self-defense argument. And then obviously we know the second one is way out of line. But with the training thing, I will say, because I used to be a poli sci major before I dropped out. I
Mhm.
had looked up um Interpol, like working. 'Cause I was just looking up random jobs, like Coast Guard, just random jobs back like years ago. And the training just to be an intern at like, or, not, or maybe not just direct, I forget the exact position, but I would just be like in an office doing paperwork and stuff in like France or one a certain, depending on what country you apply to work in. But literally, the training for that alone, just for me to work in an office, not even be an actual agent or anything, that was so stressful. I didn't even finish the application. Like I didn't even bother finishing the application. That's how long it was. These ICE dudes, the qualifications are so low. I could probably be an ICE agent if it was if I didn't have any morals and I just wanted, oh, let me just get a quick buck and I whatever. I meet the qualifications. I probably over meet their qualifications, but obviously I'm against that. But it just goes to show you how low the bar is set because you have like office government positions where dudes get all these crazy background checks just to work. And then you have like the leader of the Proud Boys who just gets to work for ICE. I mean, it's just crazy. But go ahead, Joe. I'm listening in the back.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace out.
What's up, DL?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. I only got a few minutes, but I'll lead with this. Glock is not a good gun. They're okay guns.
Man, I'm about to drop you.
I'm just saying.
I'm about to drop you down, weapon sergeant.
There's way too much other stuff out there that's far superior for you to still be a Glock guy. I don't understand Glock fanboys. I'm like, there's way better stuff out there. So much of it. Like, how are you still a Glock like that? Yeah, like, like y'all see y'all got those Glocks. You love them, and you're not moving. All of you.
But you know what's funny is we had this conversation all the time. Like Mandrilla's always like, yo, and he's right. But you was SIG all the way until that thing started going off on itself.
Yeah, the 320. I was like, and it's still a good gun. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's the most modular handgun on the planet by far and away. Nothing else comes close as far as modularity goes. But I've seen too many videos of those things uncommanded that are obvious uncommanded discharges. And I was like, yeah, I can't deny this anymore.
Me and Carlos rocking with Glock, man. We don't care what y'all talking about.
You go right ahead. I mean,
on
you want to go out and buy the new Gen 6? Go ahead. I recommend that if you want a Glock. But it's a Glock. Don't expect anything different. It still shoots. I've shot it,
but
it still shoots like a Glock. Feels like a Glock. I mean, it's a Glock.
It's a Glock. So listen, what's up with this, bro? Because I know you want to jump up and say something about this particular.
This one is an obvious bad shoot. The guy should be in jail. In this one, there's no arguing this one. There's no arguing the last one, in my opinion. But this one here, you can't debate this, man. What are you doing? He shot the guy 7 more times. I mean, he had a concealed carry license. So he was, not to mention, this is, we have the Second Amendment. This is America. The guy had a concealed carry license. He was an EMT, I think it was. Either an EMT or he works in like the emergency room or something.
He's an emergency room nurse.
Right, there you go. So he's a law-abiding citizen, an American with a concealed carry license, concealed carrying. And when you like Nate from Valhalla VFT said, okay, he has a red dot on there. It's a SIG. He has a red dot on it. This is a guy who takes firearms seriously. I have red dots on mine. You can tell. You can just look at any of my firearms and look at what's in my collection until I take them seriously. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. And I think Valhalla said the guy, his profile, like just the information that we have, it screams veteran.
Yeah.
He may not be, but he screams veteran all over him. You know what I mean? But I think that agent here, flat out, you should be in jail. You cannot have this. Not in America. This is why we have a Second Amendment, to fight against shit like that, by the way. So what do you, it's the same thing I ask cops, what are you going to do when someone draws that gun and defends himself against you? Because you put them in a position to where they fear for their life. What are you going to do? What are you going to say then? Well, that person don't want that kind of heat. Yeah, but you're dead.
Right.
Your problems are over, and you'll
Right.
never be here again. Okay, they can fight theirs in court. You're gone. So what's ICE gonna do when people start defending themselves violently, with lethal force? Because if you're just because you're law enforcement doesn't give you license to be a bully and just terrorize American citizens.
And that's what they're doing with that 47 days of training or whatever it is, 42 days of training.
42 days of training. Are you serious? And these guys, they have. I've had an interview with 2 people from there, 3 people from Border Patrol. No, I keep telling them I'm not interested, but they'll keep sending me emails, making
Yeah, they'll
offers,
keep- yeah.
signing bonuses and everything.
And the people that are getting hired, I mean, there's folks out there who are like, there are people out there who have family members who've been hired by ICE, and they're like, yo, that's my family member, and he shouldn't have that job. There are people like that. What do I do to stop this? Because they know that that person is not stable. He shouldn't have his job. And I mean, you like Jay Swans was saying, like they're gonna, and other people are saying in the chat today. I think it was Tyrone said it. It's the Proud Boys. They're hiring people like they're hiring thugs. When I look at this, I'm like, this is the modern day SA. These are the brown shirts. They're trying to get thugs out there and give them power of government to go out and do what they're doing. I don't think America is going to just take that, bro.
My thing is 42 days of training, though. You're not even trying at that point. Like, you're not. And these are people who are just off the street. You don't have to have military training, although it does help on your resume. You got military, or you submit a DD-214, they'll give you a call or shoot you an email. You want to
know what's hilarious, man? It's like it's almost like Russians training people for Stalingrad. Like you get one guy the gun, you get the other guy the bullets. Send them into fucking Minnesota, bro.
Send them out there. Yeah, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And what I've talked to a police chief, and I told him, I said, look, chief, I don't understand why they don't get it yet. Yeah, it's bad enough that people are getting gunned down for no good reason. But when they come out and try to justify it and try to defend it publicly, that's what sends people over the edge and cause them to riot and things like that. You're on the ticking time clock here.
Yes.
Before this boils over. Because I know full well there are people, I mean, you come kicking my door in, you can get this Mossberg or something else. You're gonna get something.
So let's say you're the president. Let's say you're the president's chief of staff, and he turns to you and he's like, "Man, I don't know what to do. What should I do?" Would you recommend a 30-day stand down of all ICE? Like pull them all out of the streets. Let's just do a 30-day stand down.
30-day stand down. If you're not gonna fix the problem, what's the point? You know what I mean? So they're just gonna get right back on the street, rested, and ready to go. Ready to go. Yeah. So, but you have to put in policies to protect the public. You're supposed to be going in there. You should be talking, since it's militarized, obviously, you should be talking to the military on how they identify targets, target acquisition, situational awareness. This training for 6 weeks, like 42 days, stop playing with me. No, that's not going to cut it. Everybody should be pulled back to to get more training. Everybody. You should be. I agree. You're pulling them back. I don't know about 30 days. I think it should be longer. I think they should suspend all operations, pull everybody back, and get them properly trained, and put in new policies to protect the public. And there should be consequences to these guys' actions when they behave this way. Everyone knows you don't shoot into a moving car. Everyone knows that.
Apparently, everybody except for one dude.
Apparently. I mean, because if you shoot someone in a moving car, the driver in the moving car, no one's controlling that vehicle anymore. Look at how many people in the public you put in danger.
Or where's those extra rounds going to bounce off to?
Exactly. Too much can go wrong, especially when you have a license plate on your camera phone. You can just come get it later.
And then you got this situation where you got all these dudes basically in like one of those rugby strums. They're all on top of him. And then you popping off rounds.
Why are you shooting with number one, why are you having so much trouble detaining the guy? One guy. Number two, why are you firing off rounds like that? Like Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. Yeah. For real. They just it's like, bro, man. Look. So Brother Carlos did ask a question, man. It's like the question would be if he fired a shot, was it really him or did it just go off, which is a thing? Because it was just the one round at first.
What kind of weapon was he using?
Sig. They say. They say
Was it a P320? Because
because
it might have. If it's one of those. If it was one of those.
See, Mandrill just gave the feds their excuse. Like, hey, he had a SIG 320. We didn't know. It just went off by itself. It was still
But here's the
holstered.
thing, though, they'll cover that because as big as that contract is, I don't know. And plus, the military is covered for them so much. There is a problem with that one firearm. That's true. I think so,
But-
at least. SIG says it's not, but there's more than enough evidence to show otherwise. And I'm a fan of SIG. Okay,
Nobody
I
touching
like
that
SIG, but I'm not gonna like my P320s. There are no rounds in them. I've mothballed them.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna try to sell that
Right,
thing, bro.
I've mothballed them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's just way too much evidence out there to show me that okay, there's an issue with this. I'm not willing
Yeah.
to take the chance.
And
So-
Jay Swan says you need to get a Hammer EV.
No, I don't. I don't.
Hummer
need to
EV. I know you said
I
get a
don't-
Hummer
yeah,
EV. I don't even know
need
why
to
you
get a
got.
Hummer.
What's up with the Hummer, bro? I
Well,
thought I thought
there's a new feature in that Hummer EV that it drives sideways.
oh the crash
That's
thing.
Yeah, I'm like, no, thank you. I don't really need that.
All right.
Wow.
Last question. Last question. We're gonna wrap this up, bro.
Okay.
And this is, I just want this to go through your military mind. So the next step, Trump wants to bring in federal soldiers. I think them boys out of Alaska. What unit is that?
Is that 10th Mountain?
Not 10th Mountain. They're out of New York.
They're in New York.
I
Yeah.
think it's some airborne out of Alaska. Some airborne unit out of Alaska. So they want to
100%.
bring them in. Do you think that the military would accept those orders, or would the military just ignore those orders?
The military's not going to shoot an American citizen like that. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? Good luck.
And it's
getting,
the 11th airborne out of Alaska.
Yeah. Good luck getting any chain of command in the military to just shoot unarmed American citizens or someone who's licensed to carry. No, they're not going to do that. They're not. But I don't think you should get the military involved in this in the first place. Military is to protect borders, northern and southern border. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to put the military there to help border patrol, fair enough. But to operate like that on American soil, no. Against American citizens, no. Because the military is a hammer and a fucking big one.
And everything is a nail.
And everything looks like a nail. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying so. And I said earlier, I don't think the military is going to behave this way. I don't. But there's going to be a huge problem because not everybody's built the same. Some people are going to mess up. Some people are going to,
So the question still stands: would the commanding general accept those orders if they were given?
If the president gives it to him, he has no choice.
I mean, is that illegal? Is that a legal order?
To do what? You can't tell him to go and just, annihilate American citizens. That is illegal. But if you tell them to go and
Provide
support or round up illegals or whatever the case may be, I don't know.
Isn't that the job for the state National Guard?
That is. You should. What do you have? Whatever.
You know what I
man.
mean? Like, is that illegal?
It's not active duty military's job. That's the bottom
Right.
line here.
Like,
It's
is
not
that a
active-
legal order? I wonder.
Yeah, that's a good question. We have to look it up. I mean,
Yeah,
with
look
Trump,
that up.
this stuff changes every day. So, and whether it's legal or not, he does what he wants, apparently.
Exactly. And brother Dino Dinosaur is saying that I want to get that Bull Army 3.25. What's that? Ultralight Pro? Have you heard of this one?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
I mean, because Mandrill is a weapons sergeant. So I defer all weapons questions to him. I'm real basic when it comes to my weapons. I gotta have an AR, I gotta have a revolver, right? And I gotta have a 12 gauge, normally a pump or a semi-automatic. And those are my bases. Outside of that, then everything is everything. With one exception. I love my M14, bro. I love my M14.
Fair enough. It's a decent weapon. Keep it.
Oh, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. So, all
Let
right,
me
bro.
get
I
out of here.
appreciate you popping up here,
No problem.
man.
No problem. This is crazy though. That's why
This
I
is just the
had to come up.
beginning. Wait till all the footage comes out. This is just the beginning.
No problem.
You
I
know.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna holler at you, bro. We gotta we'll probably wind up on Glenn's show. I'm sure Glenn's gonna
Okay.
want to cover this.
No problem. All
If
right.
he asks me to come on there, I'm gonna send you a link.
Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
man.
Appreciate you.
Later.
Peace. Well, that's it, guys. That's all we got. We're definitely gonna keep our eye on this one. This is a bad place for America to be. I don't see this getting any better if they keep ICE in the streets. I think that, I think that the administration needs to pull ICE at least for 30 days, at least a 30-day stand down. Pull them out of there. Do what Mandrell say. Let's go over some training. We know you boys ain't got no real training. Y'all shooting too many people. Let's go over some training and maybe augment the ICE force with more experienced federal officers from other agencies. Maybe do that. But things are going to get way worse before they get better. Sister Jody's in the building. Yeah, it says we wrapping this up. It's good to see you, though. We're wrapping this up. I just feel bad for the man's family. I feel bad for all those people who've been hurt by ICE and and killed by ICE. This is just crazy. And Americans are only going to take so much, bro. It's kind of like Popeye, man. Back to our cartoon analogies. America's going to get to a point where it's like, that's all I can stand. I can't stand no more. And then it's gonna be go time. And that's something that I want to see America avoid. I do not want to see American citizens taking up arms against federal agents. I don't want to see that. However, if that is what happens because federal agents are out here doing this thing, then I mean, America, what you want me to say? That's how we get down over here. Right? So that's that, man. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Brother Tyrone, appreciate you coming up. Mandrell, appreciate you, bro. Sister Jody, who popped in at the last second, says, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming through. Jay Swans. Brother Dino Dinosaur, always being there. Brother Carlos, thank you so much. Brother Simmons, 8826. I put a link in there to the Hypergamy book. I hope that works. But I'm going live on Gumroad. We're talking about my series of ebooks. I'm going live on Gumroad, hopefully no later than Monday. So I've already uploaded 11 ebooks. I have another 5 I need to upload. They'll all be there. And that'll be really the best way to support the channel. Just buy one of the ebooks. And I'm working on other projects as well. So man, I appreciate you, bro. And let me know if you check out one of my ebooks. Please let me know what you think. Please let me know. Miss AKA lady, she hit me up. She sent me a video recording of a critique of the 2 books. She didn't like the Hypergamy book much, but it sparked a great conversation. And she really did. She enjoyed Disney fairy tales. As a matter of fact, let me put the Disney fairy tale link in there as well. The Disney fairy tale was the second. The Hypergamy book was first, and then Disney's fairy tale was second. Let me pull that up. I'm gonna put the link in there for that. You guys can check it out. The link is free. But when Gumroad goes live, of course, those books are for sale. Give me 1 second. I'm just looking. Looking. I really I don't know if you guys are using Canva. Canva's a really good tool. You can do video stuff, man. You can put together you can put together your ebooks. You can do so much over here, make your thumbnails. Here it is. And if you guys haven't checked it out, you might want to check out Canva, man. That's my go-to. Here it is. Let me just waiting for the link to show up. There it is. My bad, guys. Get this link. Copy. So here it is. If you want to check out, this is the second ebook. The first one was Hypergamy. The second one is the Disney fairy tale. I am a new author, guys, so it is what it is. I'm doing my best. But so far I'm getting some pretty good feedback on on these ebooks. And each ebook is going to be a chapter in the hardcover that I'm working on. Of course, they're going to be expanded. So I'm going to have a hardcover at some point, man. So when that's done, I'll definitely let you guys know. So that's it. I appreciate it, man. Talking about Canva, you use it sometimes. That's what's up. Canva, don't sleep on Canva, man. They do. I mean, it's real basic. Their video tool is real basic, but it works. You're just doing faceless stuff. It works. You want to do CapCut or Filmora from what is it? Filmora. You want to use that? That's great. But that's more advanced. This is like real basic Canva. It is what it is. So check out those ebooks, guys. I appreciate y'all. We're done here. No outro, no intro, no sound effects because this is such serious subject matter, man. But I am worried about our country. I'm worried for our country right now. We got to do something about this. ICE is out of control. We got to stop this. The next step is ICE agents are going to get hurt. That's what's next. And everyone in law enforcement they know one thing. They know that they are outnumbered and outgunned in this country. We don't need American citizens riding on ICE. We don't need it. So I hope we get a 30-day stand down. I really do. I hope that, cooler heads will prevail and we stop this madness and we figure this out. And if the president of the United States doesn't want to do it, I think the responsible Republicans should work with the Democrats and force him to do it. That's my take on it, man. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you so much. I'm out of here. Peace.